Hello and welcome to another pod video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scout. My name is Joe and today I'm joined by Fantasy Football Scout's Deputy Editor Tom Freeman, who will be revealing his Game Week 13 team. Welcome, Tom. How are you?
Hey Joe, yeah, I'm okay, thank you. Game week 12 got progressively worse for me, which we'll chat about in a minute.
Yeah.
But I'm okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
how are you? You all right?
Yeah, good. Yeah, busy, but yeah, got a little green arrow myself. Well, actually,
Yeah.
weird. I didn't think I did that well. I got like 51 points, which is like
No.
okay, but
Yeah,
I've gone up about 150,000 places, so
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's ended up being quite a good green arrow. And you
Yeah,
never know. You never know.
I should feel better about it than I did. I think I got slightly fewer than you. I got 48
Yeah,
points.
but it's a good
But it
green
was
arrow.
still a really healthy green arrow.
Yep.
Yeah, not the transfers weren't great, but we
No.
can have a chat about
Okay.
those.
Just before we go on, just a reminder, do press that like button, really helps us out. Do remember to subscribe, keep up to date with our latest videos and podcasts. Also, do check out fantasyfootballscout.co.uk for latest membership offers for access to all the latest tools and gadgets to help you climb up your mini leagues. Okay, we'll have a look at your last week. So, as you said, you've got 48 points. Do you want to take us through your team? And I hesitate to say, and the transfers that you made.
Yeah, I'm going to get this out the way early. So I sold Ezza, which I had spoken about, I think, with you at the start of the international break, Joe. It was always the plan to do that. I got Ezza in, I think, game week 8, and
Yeah.
I'd held him for 4 game weeks, and I think he'd got 19 points in that time, which he obviously did better in one match
Yeah.
on Saturday. He got 20, didn't he?
Yeah.
So the transfers that I made were Gabriel out for Lacroix.
Well,
So
that's
that
good.
obviously worked
Well,
well.
that's 11 points up.
Yeah, and then Eza to Fernandez, who are captain.
And
So,
that's what 18 points down. So,
yeah, but I mean, even going into last night, I thought because I'd
mm,
given Fernandez the captaincy, I thought this could still work
mm,
out okay. But
yeah.
then Everton and
Yeah,
David
yeah,
Moyes
yeah,
came
yeah.
along and shut up shop.
Mm.
And not great transfers, but yeah, just what can you
No.
do?
No, I mean, mine weren't so dramatic as getting rid of a hat trick hero, but
Yeah.
I got Gabriel out for Van Dijk, brilliant, 3 points up, and I got rid of Van de Ven for Senesi. So once
Okay.
again, up by about 2 points, and
Yeah.
now with Senesi and Munoz, I've now got two players, two
You've just,
defenders on four yellows.
you've just got to hope they don't arrive at the same week, haven't you? You can probably gander with one of them, can't you?
I
But
think, yeah, if they both get yellows the next game week 14, I'm going to regret using my free hit chip a bit earlier. But we're going to talk about that. That's going to be the focus of this show. So instead of looking at your team reveal, we're going to look at three possible team reveals. And it was an article that you did about your free hit. So you're going to free hit this week. I'm free hitting
so.
as well. I'll be doing a separate video on my free hit as part of my usual transfer targets video later in the week. But this time it will actually be my team. So that's a rare occurrence of that. But Tom did an article looking at three potential free hit teams that you could go for. I mean, obviously, there's a multitude of different teams you go for, but these are sort of the same ethos is here. So we're going to look at a sort of a template team, as in like well-owned players, that is. Looking at one that says no to Liverpool and yes to City attack. And then the one that I like the most, apart from one or two players, is the differential team, and that's the ethos I'm going for. Is I want to
yeah,
use the moment to be a little bit different,
yeah,
and take it from there. So let's have a look at the first one. So we've got free hit, mostly template, I've
yeah.
called this. So do you want to run us through this team, and yeah, your just general thoughts on it as well?
Yes. So rather than going back to front, we've got triple City in this
Mm-hmm.
one. So we've gone
Okay.
for Donnarumma, Foden, and Haaland.
Yeah.
The thinking behind Donnarumma is City play in Europe against
Mm-hmm.
Leverkusen. They've got Fulham a few days after this. The defence, the fullback spots, Nunes, O'Reilly, who we do want. There's perhaps a bit more risk attached to them.
Yeah.
Hence going for Donnarumma. You got triple Brentford there for that really nice home fixture against Burnley. In this draft, there's Collins, Dango, and Thiago. Double Villa for Wolves at home with Cash and Rogers,
Yep.
and then double Liverpool as well with Virgil and Salah. They obviously
Yeah.
haven't got the form.
No.
But if you are going to free hit, I think it would find it quite hard not to include Salah.
Yeah.
Yes, they're playing terribly, but he scored a couple of goals in his last four matches. And then you've got Van der Ven in there as well for the home match with Fulham.
Oh, just a question. Why Dango over Sharda? Is that because he's more template? Is he work more better owned?
No, it was simply a budget thing with
Oh,
this
okay.
draft, Joe,
Oh, yeah.
because you'll find, and when you probably have already when you've been tinkering, if you want Haaland and Salah in there,
Yeah.
it's why we've switched to a 4-4-2, and it's why Dango is in over Shard. I think I prefer Sharda, but and he's in a couple of the other drafts which we're going to see
Yeah.
soon. But in this one, with the budget that I work to, obviously everybody's team value is going to be a bit different anyway, so that might be possible with some setups.
Yeah.
So and obviously we've gone very cheap on the bench with this one for that precise reason.
Yeah, I mean the players that I personally like for this one, I like Rodgers. Obviously, he's got off the back of a brace there.
Yeah.
At home to Wolves, great. I do like Salah for this one. I think if you're free hitting, you may as well have Salah Haaland.
Yeah,
I don't
same.
like it long term. Anyway, Salah's off for AFCON soon anyway.
Yeah.
But you might as well do that. I like the focus on Brentford as well because they're home to Burnley and you're not worried about the team sheet for them as well. Haaland, obviously Thiago there. I do like Cash, and I think Martinez is another good option there. I do like focusing on Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa, Brentford, and Man City are the key teams here, and the rest is where you go for.
Yeah.
On the bench here, you've got Dubravka, you've got Potts and Krupi Jr. obviously looking for savings there. Savona as well. For Nottingham Forest, he's quite mega cheap, is he? Nottingham Forest.
He's 4.5, I think
Okay,
he is.
that's why he's there. Yeah.
Scored a couple of goals in the last three, and obviously under Dyche, they've been.
Yeah.
I think since Dyche came in, they've actually conceded fewer big chances than Arsenal.
Yeah, I personally like Nottingham Forest a lot for this free hit because they're once again a
Yeah.
team I don't really want to invest in long term, but I wouldn't mind them for this fixture, even though against
I'm the
my team
same.
Brighton. But Brighton
Yeah.
concede. They've got 2 clean sheets also. And Nottingham Forest, what a role they're on.
Yeah, and
so
I
Dyche's doing wonders.
seem to recall this being quite high scoring for Forest last year as well.
Yeah, it was. I think on the downside for Forest, that is, we learnt from that.
Yeah,
Brighton learnt from that, and they tightened
you
up
have
since.
tightened up a bit as well recently, Joe.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and also the Brentford could have conceded twice, but Verbruggen actually saving a penalty. Yeah, I think I don't know who's going to win that, but I think Nottingham Forest are going to score.
Right.
So that's why I would be keen on that. So, and the other one is Foden as well. So I posted a thing up on Blue Sky saying, why am I seeing Foden in so many free hit drafts? I can't understand. He's got 10 points in the last 4 game weeks, and which is like half of like other midfielders, Cherky, and I think Doku's got 16 as well. And then some of the replies were basically saying, just like hope, rolling back the years, and other people saying, oh, good underlying stats. And so I was looking at his underlying stats, and there's 30 players with a better expected goal involvement than Foden this season. And I thought, for 8 million, nah.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting the minutes this year, isn't he? He's getting really good minutes, he's on the team sheet, and he popped up he had a great chance against Newcastle at the weekend, but it isn't quite clicking for him, is it, at the moment? So yeah, I guess it is in hope a little bit that you're going to just tap into a certain match where you're going to get the Foden of old, really. So it is a bit of a bump. But the good thing is with City is there's lots of different midfielders that you can pick if you don't want to go for Foden. You've got, I think the team sheet tonight against Leverkusen will be really key for us if Doku. Were to get if one of those guys weren't to play any minutes tonight, suddenly then you start thinking maybe I can go for them as a punt. Ideally, we want a fullback rested as well.
Yeah, O'Reilly rested would be amazing. But yeah, so I mean, my current draft, like pre-City game, I've got Donnarumma and O'Reilly because Donnarumma I just feel is safe. Obviously, Haaland's there as well, and I just don't know but I want a City midfielder over Donnarumma. I think.
I think you want that. You want to chase that upside, don't you, with a City midfielder, and that's what the free hit can be for. And Leeds have been really poor recently, so I kind of get that.
Yeah, I mean Foden is on set pieces, put it that way, and but I would prefer one of the other ones there. But yeah, I can see this is not bad. But we have other options. We have other options as well. So let's have a look at one which is like all out City attack. This is like I've had several pints of lager. I've forgotten that Pep Guardiola's there. I don't care about rotation. I want it all for
You want to
City
buy
attack.
you want to buy a ticket and hope that one of them comes
I
in
want to
really.
buy. I want to buy a
One of them comes
ticket
in really big
for the
Yeah,
world's most drunk lottery.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But at the same time, this has got a notable absentee in Salah, and I thought Salah looked okay in the last game. I just didn't think Liverpool looked that good. But I think with a free hit, you've got to go for him. You've got to go for Salah against West Ham. But anyway, do you want to just take us through this team then, and what you think of it?
I mean, there's a few differences. I mean, we haven't just taken Salah out; we've taken Van Dijk out of this one as well. So we've taken. If you're not convinced by Liverpool, which a lot of people aren't, we've just completely removed them from the equation. And what you get with this draft, there are a lot of similarities to the last one, but Milenkovic comes in at the back for Van Dijk. We were just talking about Forest improving under Dyche there. We've also managed to get Sharda in for Dango because we've got a bit more money to play with now. Salah's gone. Like that one. Triple City attack, of course. And you will see Watkins. So we've gone double Villa attack with this one. Now, Watkins.
This is really drunk.
yeah. Well, he's having such a bad season.
This is Birmingham drunk.
Well, I mean, I promise I didn't put this together when I was drunk, but it was just to present some different players. And Watkins is one of those players. Yes, he's been poor this season, but he's got that potential at home. He came close against Leeds. He did look a bit better, I thought, against Leeds. He came close with that kind of curling shot. If you really think that Villa are going to kind of put 3 or 4 past Wolves at the weekend, then maybe you want a bit more coverage than just Rodgers from an attacking sense. So that's there. I mean, and obviously we've got a lot of money on the bench with this one as well because we just don't have Salah in there. So I mean, if you could put Kudus in for one of the City midfielders if you don't like them, Van der Ven's there as well. So it's just whatever personal preference and however you see the matches going, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think with this one, I this is the one I really don't like.
Okay.
Because of the lack of Salah, I just think with a free hit,
I agree.
you might as well go for Salah. The Watkins as well. I just think for that price, I think I would prefer a midfielder. That's why I like, say, Morgan Gibbs-White, for example. So we may or may not mention him in the next slide. And I think one of the bonuses of not having Salah here, the only one I can see is that you can beef up your bench a bit, but hopefully your bench isn't going to be needed. I just can't see the point of having Raya on the bench when you can have Dubravka, because Vicario is going to play. And you've got Van der Ven. You could get like some Sunderland defenders who are like 4 million.
Oh yeah, and I think the reason why if you're going to free hit, you want to differentiate your teams from the teams who aren't free hitting. They don't have Salah. A lot of them near the top, most of them. So he's that kind of guy who can. Liverpool don't have to play particularly well, and he can still get a brace out of that game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would. I'm pretty certain I'll have Salah in my draft if.
And I also think just in terms of points. So for example, I think at Man City, I can't see Leeds getting the ball much. I just, it could be famous last words, but I just think there's going to be a clean sheet there for Man City. Of which for Donnarumma there's 6 points. You know, if there's an assist as well for O'Reilly, maybe there's 9-10 points. And I think realistically, so Doku scores and then gets substituted at 70th minute or so doesn't get bonus, then he's going to get about 6 or 7 points as well.
Yeah, and you've got DEFCON potential as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the City fullbacks don't get much, but you never know. I completely get that because we have got to bear in mind they play Fulham on Tuesday. There's another round. So if they're 3-0 up after, I mean, it wouldn't be a surprise if Haaland comes off a bit early in that match. But the thing is with that is if he does come off, they'll have got the job done already, and you'll hope that he's got a lot of points by that point. So it's nothing to worry about. But I think that you could find the midfielders rotated a little bit earlier this week.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with having. So they're playing Champions League tonight.
Yeah.
Then the weekend they've got this game against Leeds, and then they play Fulham on the Tuesday or Wednesday.
It's the Tuesday, yeah.
So it's a really tight turnaround. So one of those games, the Leeds game or the Fulham game, are going to be absolutely fraught with rotation. And we don't know which one. I mean, you would think logically they can afford to rest players against Leeds more than away to Fulham. But at the same time, the Fulham game is away. So then they would travel down there. So it might be an opportunity to completely rest, just basically not take Foden, for example. let him
Yeah.
rest, and then he's free to play the next weekend.
I think Fulham's the tougher game.
It's a tougher game,
Isn't it? But I do think that because they're coming off the back of a loss against
Yeah.
Newcastle, that perhaps helps. Maybe they'll say, look, we're going to go full out strong against Leeds.
Yeah.
We're going to get the job done in the first half. And then on 55, 60
Yeah.
minutes, we can start to rotate a little bit more.
Yeah.
They can't really afford to drop any more points, can they? And that sounds ridiculous against Leeds. But he might just want to go strong, get the job done, get the players off early.
And that's why the likes of Doku and Cherki appeal to me a little bit more, because if they're not starting, I think they'll get 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Yeah.
And against very tired Leeds legs. I think we've seen that many times, when, late goals.
It's a great point, Joe, because it happened against Villa at the weekend. They were brilliant in the first half,
Yeah.
Leeds. They were full on, they were pressing, they didn't give us an inch.
No.
Second half, they just couldn't sustain those levels.
Yeah.
If they do the same at the Etihad, then it might be the subs who come on and get the points.
And but we've also seen with Pep that sometimes he doesn't make substitutions hardly.
Yeah.
But you would hope that you would get a bit more minutes and there. But I think I would have a good first sub if I went for them.
Definitely.
And as I said, Foden doesn't appeal to me. I like this one with Sharda. I'm not quite sure about Watkins.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
And the bench as well. So let's have a look at this next one then. This is number 3.
This is the one you like the most.
This is the one I like the most in just general feel to it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily all the players. So do you want to run us through this team? I wanted to say, by the way, on the first slide, there wasn't a captaincy little tag for Haaland there. So apologies for that. Just assumed that Haaland would win the captaincy. He is for the last one and this one, obviously.
I'll run through this team completely because it is different to the others. So we've gone for Martinez in goal with this one, who we mentioned earlier. There's a back four of Matthias Nunes, Collins, Murillo and Coyote, who I think is a really nice... If you're only going for one Brentford defender, I actually think it's close. But in this one, we've got double Brentford defence. We then got Cherki, Gibbs-White, Sharda and Salah in midfield, and Bowen and Haaland up top. With a cheap bench, but with some reasonable potential with players like Danzo.
So I'll caveat when I say this is my favourite, it doesn't have Thiago. So therefore, I would put Thiago in for Bowen, and I wouldn't have Coyote in. I would, look elsewhere there. Perhaps have Cash in instead, as well as Martinez. I feel that's a good game for Aston Villa against Wolves. It is a derby, though. I mean, you're local. When people say it's a derby, I get people saying, "Oh yeah, Brighton, Bournemouth derby, or whatever," and we just go, "What?" Is it? I mean, Birmingham City, isn't it?
I think
it's your derby. But is this actually a derby?
I mean, yeah, but it hasn't got that same kind of feeling around it that Birmingham, West Brom, Coventry to an extent. I mean, so they can call it a derby, but I don't think there's too much bad blood there or anything like that.
No.
But, I mean, I think this game. I think we're coming in. We're playing very well at the moment. We've turned it around after a really slow start. Rob Edwards obviously just coming in at Wolves as well, but I'm not so sure about a clean sheet in this one. I think they'll be really up for this, but I certainly get. I mean, this doesn't have any Villa attacking, so that's an immediate problem for me. I would definitely want Rodgers, but it's a differential one, and that Rodgers will be in probably 70 or 80% of free hit teams, and that's why. But I would definitely try and get a Villa attacker in this because I think we'll be able to score a couple.
Yeah, so I like the sort of 4-4-2 of it. For this one, for me, obviously Haaland there. I would have Thiago instead of Bowen straight out. Yeah, Cherki, or Doku, or whichever is gonna you think is gonna start, and then have a good first sub. So someone like Anderson, like when I say good, I mean like a real reliable one. You could get DEFCON, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now Anderson at Nottingham Forest. I think Gibbs White is great. 28 points in his last 4 game weeks. And his XGI has doubled under Deitch. So that's huge there. Sharda, I think, is great there. Salah, great there. It's mainly sort of Rodgers I would want in there. And, more 5-man midfield. And then at the back, Man City fullback, which one's going to start? Collins, I think. But remember that last season, every week you were getting 10 points more than me, and I was going, "Why? Oh, Collins!"
And you got a lot of attacking returns.
You just kept getting clean sheets and an assist for Collins every week, and I was thinking, "Why? Anyway, so yeah, he's your secret weapon. So I can see why.
I need him. I need some of that this year, to be honest. So let's hope so.
So O'Reilly or Matez Nunes, Collins, great. Donnarumma or Martinez is probably going to be one of those two for me. And I was thinking about, because I remember when FPL General used his free hit chip, he got 12 extra points on his previous week. And that is huge for a free hit in a single game week, where I'm getting rid of, and you probably doing the same, you're getting rid of Bruno Fernandes, you're getting rid of Saka, you're getting rid of all these good players.
Well, I've got so many players up against each other. That's the thing, Joe. And I've even got like quite a few Bournemouth, Sunderland players, and they're all going against each other. So there's always that danger that your original team's going to outscore it. Of course it can happen. Yeah. But I do think, I mean, I looked at game week 16 as well, which is another time when it doesn't look good for my team. But then we've got the free transfers around the transfer top up then. And so I might be able to kind of do a bit. I think this makes sense for my team, and it's probably the same for you, Joe. Right?
Yeah. So I think it's sort of triple or double Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Triple City. Triple Brentford. So that's 6, 7, 8. And then you've got sort of 2 or 3 places to play with.
Gibbs White.
And for me, Gibbs White is there. Yeah. Nottingham Forest are good for that. Also, I think I'd like to include a player that I've already got, just to keep them. And I like that Palace fixture against Manchester United, but I don't like it enough to keep my triple up, to keep my Sarr, my Mateta.
So what, Munoz?
Yeah. Because I think there's a possibility of a clean sheet. It's a possibility of an attacking return. I'm sort of giving myself a slice of both of them.
I've seen him in a few free hit teams, especially after last night.
Yeah. So I think I might be doing that. So for me, my sort of 2 differentials of this differential would be that Nottingham Forest of Gibbs White, so he's already there in this differential, and just Munoz. A player Munoz. I have seen Virgil van Dijk in a few as well.
Yeah.
And because there is a possibility still of a clean sheet, but I look in the 72nd minute when Souček comes on, and they have a corner. How well are Liverpool going to?
I don't see a clean sheet for them. I think if you're getting Van Dijk, you're thinking DEFCON and you're thinking a bit of set piece threat. But then even nailing one game where he's going to get a set piece goal is going to be really fortunate. Yeah, I kind of get the Munoz over Van Dijk one. Obviously, Munoz's ceiling is sky high. They've got Europe this week, haven't they, Palace? I think. Yeah. But Munoz never gets rested anyway. So.
No, I think he's used to that as well. There is some speculation that because he's on 4 yellows, what's the next game for them?
What, after Manchester United game? Well, they're playing midweek, don't they?
Yeah, they play
against Burnley.
And it's Burnley.
Yeah.
So they could possibly do without him then. This is like full conspiracy theory. So he'd get his because he's on 5.
Suspension for that card in the dying minutes.
And then he's back for away for Fulham. And then City after that, which he's been needed for. That's pure speculation, but you never know. We have seen that sort of thing before. But yeah, that's interesting. I'll tell you what, these are really good to see all these different drafts. There's lots of different ethos there. We can sort of types of players we are.
Yeah, I found it really useful yesterday. Just taking not just doing it from my own perspective, but looking at the high owned players, where you can where you can think, well, maybe I could go away from that and get a really good differential in. But yeah, it should be an interesting weekend.
Hopefully this has been of use as well for those who aren't free hitting, just to look at transfer targets, see who you're up against as well, particularly maybe City players you want to go for. On the fixture ticker, City have got, after Leeds, they've got Fulham, Sunderland, Crystal Palace, West Ham, Nottingham Forest, Sunderland. Again, it's a great run of fixtures till the end of the year, so you can really load up on City. Which ones do you go for, though? I'll be back later in this week to have a look at my free hit, see how that's going, and that's going to be armed with new information about City, and I'll still be confused probably, but I'll try and take you through that. Obviously, there's lots of other stuff as well. We've got the watch list, Scoutcast, team news coming up later this week as well. Neil is away at the moment, so I'll be doing that with Mark Joblin. So yeah, lots and lots to go, and obviously look at all the articles that Tom, Mark and the team are doing at Fantasy Football Scout to get you equipped for the week ahead. Okay, thanks a lot for your time, Tom. Take care. See you soon.
Great. Thanks, Joe.